It's time to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your hosts, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey fam, what is going on? What is going on? Okay, we are live. I'm liking what's going on here. Let me just tilt this a certain angle here. All right, so we got that. That's going on. Your man standing up for this one. I told you guys I got this new desk and I am just loving the layout right now. Where are we at right now on the settings? We're at 37.8. So like, look, I can just lower it, right? Don't adjust. That's me actually doing the thing here, right? All right, so we got that. Now we're gonna bring it back up. I think we had it at 37.8. Let's bring that back on up here. 37 point. Oh, I gotta hold it. There we go. We got it back. What's going on, fam? Lee Sanders with you guys. Y'all are checking out a all-new edition of the RCWR show. It's the first edition of the RCWR show with Lee Sanders for this new calendar year of 2025. Yo, we made it. Happy New Year. New year, new beginnings. Hopefully, this new calendar year is off to a fantastic start for you guys. WWE RAW just wrapped up. What did you guys think about the Raw on Netflix series premiere? Sound off. Let your man know what you thought about it. Of course, you can not only post your comments, you can also get at your man all throughout social media. I do have polls up, X formerly known as Twitter, at the RCWR show. Also got a post up for you guys on youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the post section and you can sound off, let your voices be heard that way. Yo, I got to tell you, fam, I have seen my share of Monday Night Raws. I have seen from the very first episode, and very seldom have I missed an episode of Monday Night Raw. And I got to tell you, I pretty much was on cloud nine from start to finish. If there was maybe one area of this 3-hour plus broadcast, yes, it was a 3+ hour show for those of you that have not watched it yet, but you plan on. And let me tell you off the break, because remember when we were last here, we were addressing some of the chatter that was going about online where people were talking about, oh, be prepared for the technical issues. Be prepared for the lagging. Be prepared for the buffering. Because a lot of people were pretty much taking their cues from what went down with the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight and everything, and all of the audio streaming issues that went down with that one. A lot of people were under the impression that was going to be the case with WWE. And remember where I left you guys. On that note, when we were bringing up that topic, I said, yo, peep this. WWE's been doing these live events. They've been doing these live televised shows for years upon years upon years. They got an excellent team that is in place. And I said to you guys, any issues that maybe goes down, it's not going to be their fault. It's pretty much going to be on Netflix's fault. But then I even went a step further and I said, look at the fact that Netflix has been playing around for years now with live events. And shout out to longtime listener and follower Rick, who had hit me up on Blue Sky. And he mentioned the fact that one of the very first, if not the first, Netflix live event that came about happened in 2011. And Rick, I appreciate you as always, but the main point you want to be focusing in on of what I mentioned last week with Raw on Netflix, this is the first time that Netflix is going to be dealing with a live weekly series. And my whole thing was any issues that maybe was going to go down with this first stream, hey, rest assured, everything's going to be corrected by the time they get to the second episode and everything. And I'm here to tell you guys, I did not walk away from my television set for the entire time Raw was on. I did not miss anything. I did not want to miss anything. I'm here to tell you guys, there was no technical issues whatsoever. Audio standpoint, video feed standpoint, no issues whatsoever. That initial live stream, fantastic. Graphics wise, there was one thing that I had noticed, and it was almost going towards the end of the show where I'm trying to remember what was being promoted. Actually, it's coming to me now. There was a WrestleMania package and a QR code that they wanted you to scan. It was a lower third graphic with the QR code that was at the bottom of the screen. And within 10, 15 seconds, all of a sudden, that bad boy had flipped. And it was, it flipped. And instead of it being down at the bottom of the screen, it was moved up, but it was flipped. So you kind of had to tilt your head. Wait a minute, what's going on? What? You had to go like that, break your neck and everything to read it. But other than that, and the appearance by Hulk Hogan, oh my God. Oh my God. Those, if you want to be a dick, being all, ugh, but I can look past the lower third stuff. The Hulk Hogan thing, I can't really, person, I don't want to see the man ever again. My disdain for the man and everything, just, I'm good on the Hulkster. I'm good on the Hulkster. If that was his one and only quota for being on TV for this whole calendar year, I am honestly good. But putting that to the side, this was a fantastic Monday Night Raw. From a production value standpoint, I got to say, I loved it. I loved it on so many levels. It's interesting, and I had said this openly on social media, which was all the things that we have seen the technical crew play around with for the past year plus. We saw all of that integrated with tonight's series premiere on Netflix. But we also saw some new things that they were playing around with a lot more, incorporating more into the broadcast more. And that included the hell out of drones. I mean, they really pushed on this series premiere. They really pushed the hell out of the drones. They really, I loved it. And then the drone shows that were happening outside of the arena. What was that? The Intuit arena there. That is home for the Los Angeles Clippers. That is a fantastic arena. I was saying to my wife, who watched the majority of the show with me, and I was saying online, actually, I said, man, can you just imagine? And you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. If you have not watched the premiere yet on Netflix, you'll see what I'm talking about after I mention this. But once you watch it, I said out and about, yo, could you just imagine if WWE were to bring Raw or SmackDown to Las Vegas and do the Sphere? Can you just imagine if they were to, oh my God, that would just be, man, it can house easily 20,000 people. Just imagine if they were to take the show over there. That would just be a whole, talk about a very unique, cool, kick-ass experience there in itself and everything. But everything from a technical aspect, and I am just a nut and geek when it comes to everything technical behind the scenes, cameras and all of that. everything went so perfectly tonight. I felt like I was watching a higher tier WWE presentation tonight with Monday Night Raw. It had a pay-per-view premium live event. I got to get used to saying that term, but I'll never get used to saying it. It's always going to be pay-per-views for me. But it had that special feel to it tonight. And if that's what we're going to be led to feel like as fans every single Monday night, my God, sign me up. I am all fine for it, especially if it means that going forward with great partners that the WWE has in Ari Emanuel TKO, if it means that they're going to be more particular about where they do these shows to create these really great experiences like we had got tonight, I'm all fine for it. But the quality was definitely there. Triple H giving a number of interviews. One of the burning questions was, hey, what is going to happen with Monday Night Raw on Netflix as far as a hard time to go off the air? What's up with that? And Triple H said, well, that's the best part about being on Netflix is we can just go with the flow. We're not being rushed. We can just pretty much do our thing. Some weeks it's going to be very short. Other weeks, we may have a really in-depth story to tell. So it's very interesting how they had all of this set up. And I got to tell you, for me, my Netflix subscription, I got when I upgraded my phone to the newest iPhone, not a cheap plug, by the way. But I do love the fact that I'm able to do so much recording wise, especially that cinematic mode. When I upgraded my phone with my cell phone provider, I was able to get from T-Mobile, I was able to get Netflix. And basically, I believe their basic tier, so I was seeing commercials, but I did reach out to you guys while Raw was on. Matter of fact, as soon as Raw had essentially took their first commercial break, I went online and I asked you guys, hey fam, are you guys getting commercials? What is going on with you all? And going to the polling results for that one. Yes, I know I'm live. I created it. I got my Twitter telling me I'm live right now. I didn't tweet that much. Give me a second. Let me pull this up for you guys. Where are we here? Here we go. I said, are you all dealing with ads right now? I see that 24% of you guys said no. Now, I did also see that there was an official report that came out, which WWE basically confirmed that said those that are watching WWE Raw internationally, they will not be getting commercials and that they'll be getting unique video packages. And in some instances, they will see WWE related content that is just intended for the international audience only. So I thought that was interesting that was put out there. But 24% of you guys said you were not dealing with any ads. 76% of you all said you were dealing with some form of an ad. I am led to the impression, and shout out to everybody that had sounded off on that poll there. I'm under the impression, unless it's totally different otherwise, let me and the rest of the community know. But that's 76% that said yes, they're dealing with commercials. I would imagine you guys basically are living in the United States, maybe even Canada, because remember, as part of this whole deal and what Triple H and them were talking about, I know they're still trying to figure things out and everything, because they were quoted in an interview. I don't have the direct quote in front of me, but I do remember from off the top of my head. They did say they were trying to still figure out the advertisements. They were still trying to figure that out. So, honestly, from what I was able to experience, and I think that 76% of you guys that have voted as well and say, yeah, I'm experiencing ads, understand something. I know with Peacock, there used to be a thing where you could, even on the most lowest tier package, you could back out and you can go back in and you can basically, hey, it's still going. But here in this case, you could not do that. You pretty much were sitting through commercials unless you were an international audience. Then some of the video packages you got was a video package for that respected match you were about to watch, basically tell of the tape. How did we get to this point? As far as picture in picture breaks goes, there was none of that whatsoever. No picture in picture breaks. When it was time to do a commercial, we pretty much had got about, and it really didn't feel that long, the ad breaks. It felt like maybe, for those of you that are familiar with Prime Video, felt like maybe we experienced, I would say, under 2 minutes of ads. And that pretty much was it. And it pretty much was mainly dealing with WWE sponsors and everything. They've got a new ring, which, look, I have no issue with it whatsoever. I know that there was somebody on social media by the name of Belts by Dan, and he was not a fan of the fact that uh we got this whole MAGA beer that's being promoted by Hulk Hogan, Logan Paul, all these sponsors that's on the mat, and these weird NXT call ups with names that were created using an online generator with AI themes that no one knows who's who, talking about how this company has no soul. Well, those were Belts by Dan's words, not mine. And I just looked at that, and I quoted that tweet and I responded to it. And I'm going, okay, look, as far as the sponsors goes, I don't give a damn about the sponsors. I'm not looking at the ring going, oh my God, that's too many logos on the mat. I'm very distracted. Like, and as you guys will see that have not watched the premiere yet, you're not really gonna, if anything, you're gonna be like, oh, hey, cool Snickers. Oh, hey, cool Fortnite. You know what I see when I see all those sponsors and everything on that ring mat? You know what I see when I see that? I see money. That's what I see, because I'm able to think like a business person. And I would think that a person like Belts by Dan, who claims to make belts for, and I'm sure they're really good belts, but he says that he makes belts for promotions such as AEW, for ROH, New Japan, NWA, Pizza Hut, Bojangles. These are some of his clients. I would like to believe that he would understand from a business standpoint that, okay, look, you're recognizing your sponsors, you're recognizing those that are partners, are your partners. You're trying to tell me that if a wrestling promotion that you're working for, Belts by Dan, uh presented to you an opportunity where you could have the name of your company somewhere on the canvas, that you wouldn't take it. You're trying to tell me that no, no, no. It's it's too much of a distraction. No, I could. No, no. I just want to focus on the in-ring action. Get the out of here. Get out of here. You'd be lying. You'd be lying. So I did not look at, I didn't really think it was that excessive whatsoever. If anything, it gave me more of a UFC boxing type of feel. You know how sometimes you watch a basketball game as well and you see a little plug for whatever the sponsor is or whatever. You definitely are looking over by the timekeeper, the team, the coaching staff, and you see the LED boards that they got over there on the sides promoting different things. Obey your thirst, Sprite, catch NBA TV, right? All that other stuff that they always are promoting and everything. I that didn't bother me whatsoever. The stuff with NXT, all these different people that's getting call ups, with these generic names we all have seen in the past, that don't mean a damn thing. I think one of the biggest things that comes to recent memories is look at what happened with the War Raiders. right? They were the Viking experience. Remember how we all as a community were going, oh, what a crappy name. But some people were really bent out of shape over that name. I was one of several podcasts that said, the hell with the name. We know what these guys are capable of. They're a pretty damn good tag team. The most important thing you should be focusing in on is, okay, can they bring that same level of tag team success that they were doing down in NXT? Can they bring that to the main roster? And despite having this crappy name for a tag team, can they rise above it? And in due time, they honestly did. They honestly did. Chris, I've already responded, my friend, to your question about picture in picture. There was no picture in picture. I'm here in the United States in the Washington, D.C. area. We just spent several minutes talking about how it was when they were taking commercial breaks and everything. But if you missed it, and to everybody else, I repeat, at least here on my neck of the woods, there were no picture in picture. Everything was full screen. Full screen. So I don't know what's going on with you guys. Why this thing about picture in picture, because mostly everybody that I was seeing on social media, they pretty much were experiencing what I was experiencing, unless you were overseas. If you were international, as far as your viewing experience goes, the only thing that was different, some had got video packages explaining what was going on with the match, and then some had got an exclusive international video thing. That pretty much was it. But for those of you that's kind of like Chris, picture in picture, like it's 2025. That's now like a very foreign, like, hey, maybe picture in picture will come back. I don't know. Me personally, I hope it stays the way. I hope exactly how I was shown Monday Night Raw tonight on Netflix. I hope that is what I continue to get on a weekly basis. Let's talk about some of this stuff. By the way, shout out to PW Insider, because PW Insider, they somehow came across the how can I say this using the right words? I guess whatever comes to mind. A template. That's the best way I can describe it. They came across a template which was basically a rundown of everything that was supposed to happen during tonight's show. And it went right down to the T. Shout out to PW Insider. Really good stuff there. If that was Mike Johnson, I believe that was Mike Johnson behind that. Great stuff as always, Mike. Great stuff as always. So I love the Triple H video package. As many of you had saw probably online, we got a little bit of a first taste of, okay, this new era that we're ushering in for Monday Night Raw. I love that. I actually chose to experience it while the premiere was on, which, by the way, I logged into Netflix 5 minutes before the show. And what was totally kick-ass, and I know there were some other people that said the same thing. So this is true. If you heard this or if you saw it on social media, I experienced the same thing as well. When I booted up Netflix for the very first time, fam, the very first thing that I see is WWE RAW. I love that. That was awesome. Because I thought I was going to have to search, and it was just, get past the Netflix logo and the boom, boom, all that. And boom, I'm right there on Raw. I'm going, okay, cool. And it gave me the option to watch now. I'm going, okay, yeah, let's go ahead. So I click on it. And like I said, I'm 5 minutes before Raw comes on. And I like the templates that they were giving you. They pretty much had the Raw logo, countdown at the bottom of the screen, and you were seeing different shots of fans in an arena, and you couldn't quite tell if it was the Intuit Arena or if it was just some random thing. You weren't sure if you were really watching it live, but I know after a while it did loop itself. Right, that is one thing that I had noticed. And at some points, you got to see Seth Rollins doing his little dance and making his little facial expressions. And then they highlighted the featured players that you pretty much were going to be seeing on tonight's premiere and everything, and I guess weekly as far as Monday Night Raw goes. So I thought that presentation was pretty cool. When the countdown finally got to 0, they finally, I would say there was maybe about 90 seconds of a delay, if anything. Most people are used to that, especially if they're checking out Adrian. We're gonna talk about Hogan. Trust me, trust me. When I say to you guys, I saw everything. This was a eagerly anticipated series premiere on Netflix that I have had marked down on the calendar for quite some time. I was not gonna miss this, and to the point, I made sure that I got in a power nap right before Raw came on. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Hogan. We're gonna talk about Hogan. Trust me, I got a lot to say about the Hogan situation. But yeah, great narration video package. Yeah, I was talking about the countdown. Once it got to 0, there was like a 90-second delay, if anything. I think most of us are used to that when we're going on YouTube to watch any type of a live event, maybe a podcaster, right? Countdown meter hit 0, you know, okay, stream's going to start shortly. But after that, it pretty much was smooth sailing. The Triple H narration video package, going through the analytics of time of history, talking about the evolution of wrestling, its media consumption. That's something that we've been talking about here for not just in recent weeks, but definitely in the past several months with this Netflix deal. But media consumption, how we're going about entertainment, that's something just generally overall we've been talking about very candidly for a few years now. Even had a panel at AwesomeCon a few years back talking about it and everything. I loved all the notes that Triple H had hit with the narrations. Really good stuff. For those of you that maybe have not seen it, it's definitely available on social media as a standalone. You could check it out. It looked like my boy Rob Schamberger was incorporated in that video as well. You know, doing all kinds of really cool paintings, acknowledging the past and everything. That was really good stuff. Perfect segue to Triple H in the ring, asking the fans if they're ready and letting them know that this is the Netflix era. So no better way to kick it off. But then wait, it gets even better. We get the final boss himself, The Rock, coming out to a great ovation. I gotta say, of all the entrances tonight that I really enjoyed off of this series premiere on Netflix, Rock's number one, just from the different camera angles they were able to take of him from the moment that he stepped out there, and just the color of the lights that they were using. You know, it kind of seemed like at some points maybe he got some type of glow in the dark paint on him, it seemed. I really like the choice of lighting that they use. You got to go back and see what I'm talking about, and you'll be like, I see what you're talking about, Lee. I don't know how it was looking for you guys, TVs, what kind of TVs you all are pushing, but I'm pushing a 72-inch flat screen, you know, ultra 4K uh TV. So I was able to see The Rock's goosebumps before he was even able to slap his damn wrist and go right in. God, it's great. It was freaking great. Rock's promo, very interesting, you know, because when you hear, hey, The Rock is in the house, you're going, okay, so what's The Rock gonna do here? You know, last we heard, Rock had shot down the bogus rumor that was out there that, you know, Rock's not going to be doing anything at WrestleMania. You know, priorities has changed. Y'all seen that report that was floating around a few months back, and Rock pretty much had called bullshit on it. So you're kind of keeping that in the back of your mind. You're also thinking about the sporadic appearances that The Rock has made leading up to this point. You're going, okay, this should be interesting. You know, we're going to get some type of an idea now on where exactly we're going here with The Rock. And gotta say, shockingly, I was a little disappointed. Now, maybe it's a case where the Rock and crew are still trying to figure things out. We'll have to wait and see. Uh, New report. Not really a new report because I got to give a shout out to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. Brandon mentioned the fact that you all may have heard of this, seen this floating around, but there's this report about The Rock and shares of TKO and how much it's worth. That's actually old news, as this is something that it was of public knowledge months ago. It's nothing new, right down to the point. Again, shout out to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. He posted the link so that if anybody wanted to go see, some more information and maybe slowly drip out some news, they could do it that way. But you're understanding the Rock shares and all that. You're going, okay, hey, well, hey, great for him, right? If you're a Rock fan, you're going, hey, all right, that's what's up, cool. But Rock promo pretty much echoing the same words, the sentiments that Triple H had in his cold opener. But we have The Rock that's acknowledging certain members of Netflix. If you look very closely, TKO's Ari Emanuel and a couple other TKO figureheads were in the house, which Rock pretty much shouted out and everything. There's a reason why when you think about Monday Night Raw, Los Angeles, everything is for a reason because the Netflix headquarters, it's nearby. So that's how you get your Netflix guys to get a shout out and all of that. Your chief content officer, Bella Bajora, Mark Shapiro, Ari Emanuel of TKO. So, everything, this was beautifully laid out when it was all said and done. Rock giving a shout out to Cody Rhodes. Like, whoa. You're giving a shout out to Cody? Acknowledging Cody Rhodes, saying, yo, he's been busting his ass for the past year, putting the company on his back. Matt, shout out to Cody Rhodes. Okay. Hey, Cody, by the way, tell Mama Rose The Rock says hi. Like, okay. And then The Rock just pretty much ends things by saying he's going to be watching very closely the match there between Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. And you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe, right? You're hearing this. You go, okay, well, maybe Rock is just foreshadowing that maybe he's going to have some type of involvement in Sikoa versus Reigns. Maybe that's what's going on. First match that we get out of the gate, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, all out war here. Pretty much anything goes. It's for that necklace, right? It's all about that necklace being recognized as the true tribal chief and everything. I thought this match between, I got to tell you, I was having a hard time focusing on this match, fam, for the simple fact I kept looking at Roman Reigns shoes. I'm going, yo, what kind of Nikes are those? How much they gonna cost? Because I think I might want to pick me up a pair. Yo, his shoe game, it was on point tonight. I was feeling it on so many levels. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Great match. And look, when you hear the whole, tribal war or whatever terminology they want to use, right? You just know that everything in the kitchen sink is going to be thrown into that match, right? It's going to be loaded up with a bunch of interference. But I will give WWE this much credit, which is, hey, at least when they went into this match, we pretty much got, and it felt like we were watching these guys for maybe about 20 minutes, give or take, maybe a little more than that. But the first half of it, at least, or third of it, it was just all about those two guys. And I thought they did fantastic. Then we started loading it up with Tungaloa, Jacob Fatu, them getting involved in everything. Sami Zayn, who was it there? Jimmy Uso coming out. Thought it was interesting that there was no Jey Uso in there, but all things considered, that he kind of had his hands a little bit full with Drew McIntyre later on in the night. I guess it kind of made a little bit of sense. I don't really know. But then there's also that part of me that's looking at this going, well, since we're running interference, why not have Drew McIntyre come out? Because, he still has a vendetta that he's trying to against the bloodline. He made the arrangement there with Solo Sikoa and everything. They kind of have this alliance thing going on, if you will. But we didn't see Drew McIntyre come out. You know who we did see come out, though? We did see what's his face, Kevin Owens, from out of nowhere, coming in there with a stunner on Roman Reigns, egging Solo on to go in for the cover and everything, but somehow Roman Reigns managed to kick out. Match continued on. Kevin Owens was trying to continue to get physical there with Reigns. When Cody Rhodes came out, taking the fight there, Cody Cutter pretty much negating Kevin Owens and all of that. Roman Reigns eventually able to come through, picking up the W. Look, in regards to Solo Sikoa, I will say this. I will say this. I'm most curious now what the repercussions is going to be, if at all, for Solo. Because here was a man that pretty much stepped up to the plate. He took his best swing, right? They really played this back. He took his best attempt to step up to the plate. He wanted the smoke. He wanted to be the man. And when it was all said and done, he ultimately failed. Right? Now, if you're following that story arc, there's a part of you that's going, yeah, what is next here for Solo Sikoa? Is Jacob Fatu in them? Are they still going to fall in line? Or now that the dust has essentially settled, are they now going to basically look at Roman Reigns, acknowledge him as their tribal chief, pretty much pull a Omar Epps, Tupac Shakur juice, hey, you got the juice now. Are they going to go in that direction? This stable, this bloodline great value stable, as I like to call it, are we going to see the beginning of the end? Each man is going to pursue his own thing. I mean, there's so many interesting directions that WWE could potentially go here. I'm hoping that they somehow keep these guys together a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. I feel that, because let me be honest with you guys for a second. If you were to take Jacob Fatu, like we all could be in agreement, Jacob Fatu, if you want to just start building him up as a solo act, like he'll be fine. He will be fantastic. He will be just fine. But where you're really a little bit concerned is, okay, well, what about Tongaloa? Yeah, he's got the personality and all that, but like, is he really gonna be okay as a solo act? Probably not. And then you're looking at Solo. You're going, okay, what about Solo? And you know what? I've said it time and time again here on this show. I know a lot of people don't like Solo Sikoa. Here's the thing. The people that don't like Solo Sikoa, you will never hear them say he's a bad wrestler. It has nothing to do with his in-ring ability. What it has to do, it's the fact that as far as a believable, badass character, most people, they don't feel that connection to him. They're not buying the hype. But most fans understand at the same time, okay, look, we get it. They needed to build up, a new antagonist here for however long Roman Reigns was away, and mission was accomplished. But hindsight being 2020 and everything, I'm sure if WWE could have that back under the right circumstances, if it could have been Jacob Fatu, for sure, it could have been Jacob Fatu. I kind of feel as though Jacob Fatu and Tongaloa are gonna split. Eventually, if it doesn't happen on this Friday SmackDown, Definitely, maybe way before we even get to WrestleMania. I just feel as though that's going to break up. And I kind of get the impression that maybe Solo Sikoa is going to regroup and form a new stable. I just see him being that bitter, heated, this ain't over. You guys turning your backs on. I can just see him kind of going in that direction, trying to rebuild again. I can see him taking a page out of the Penguin. I mentioned the Penguin because I literally finished watching it for the first time. I finished watching it over the weekend, and what a great series! Congratulations to Colin Farrell for picking up that Golden Globe Award for his performance as the Penguin. Uh, that is pretty much his Tony Montana, Scarface. That is his Godfather. That is his James Gandolfini, Sopranos. That is his. But maybe Solo Sokoa is going to pull a page out of the Penguin, and he goes the Sophia Falcone route. Try to remake, and no, it's no longer about the bloodline. We're this family now. Like we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Roman Reigns was about to get that necklace bestowed upon him by Paul Heyman, but The Rock came out and he wanted to do the honors and properly acknowledging his tribal chief. I gotta say, just the way The Rock looked on there at Roman Reigns, even going in for the embrace there, I just felt tension, a lot of tension going on there. That just kind of, I don't know if you guys felt the same thing as you were watching it play out, but I was ready for The Rock to just hit Reigns with a rock bottom there, and just something just feels kind of off there. I don't know. Maybe that's how it was supposed to come off, but it just felt like there was a lot of tension you could cut in the air. And it just has me wondering, was something originally supposed to go down there? Was Rocky supposed to get physical? Like, was there an angle? What exactly was supposed to be going on? But for The Rock to not get physical whatsoever and pretty much was just there as, here's my name, here's my likeliness, let's help you guys. Okay, my mission is done. I'm out of here. Peace. No, hey, Rock will see y'all at the Royal Rumble. Nothing, 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 nothing. And it's just one of those things where it makes me take a step back. And although I appreciate when I get The Rock on my TV set and I get those great emotions that I felt back in the day watching him and everything, I'm starting to get to this point now where, damn, it seems like every time The Rock shows up nowadays, it's much to do about nothing. And ain't no meat on them bones. He's just there. Like, I'll settle for a big old fat head cutout of The Rock if that's the case. Like, I want to see him really, get dirty with it, right? Don't keep teasing me, right? Don't keep teasing me. Actually, do something. Don't do me like that. That's dirty. All that teasing. Do something already. Now, John Cena, on the other hand, love me some John Cena. Love me some John Cena. Hit after hit, pretty much legend after legend, future legend, looking at Roman Reigns in there, right? And then we go to definitely a future WWE Hall of Famer, definitely a future legend and all that. And John Cena coming out. John Cena officially beginning his farewell tour. And it's amazing how they're doing this farewell tour. And look, the best thing that I like about this farewell tour is not like it's going to be given the Kiss treatment, right? Oh my God, 20 years later, Kiss is still doing their retirement tour. What the hell, right? Rolling Stone. My God, you guys are still like, come on already. Nothing of that nature whatsoever. Although, Cena has said he'll still pop up, once in a blue moon after his in-ring career is over. But he's pretty much going to do a Rock. He's just going to appear as a character, on-screen character and all that, which is cool. But John Cena officially began his farewell tour, and I love the way this was laid out. But I do have a little bit of bone of contention to pick. Some people may find this, me nitpicking a little bit, but I got to ask you all this, and y'all sound off. Would it have been better? Would it have been better if after the John Cena farewell tour was announced, we didn't know definitively what PLEs he would be at? Would that have worked better for you guys? And the reason why I asked that question is because I think about his promo tonight. And he's thanking the fans, and he's saying to them, hey, you realize that and Cena's like, as much as I would like to get that record, as much as I would like to be a 17-time world champion, I just don't think it's going to be possible, because look at that streak there. Everybody wants to say never in the WWE, but look at that streak there. That's a long streak to go that many days without a world heavyweight championship. I don't really know. But then I like how he switched it up and he goes, unless I can get myself a world heavyweight championship, maybe by doing the Royal Rumble, maybe winning Money in the Bank, maybe doing something at Elimination Chamber, maybe somehow WrestleMania, right? And so he's going through all this in his head and everything. And if you're paying attention to the promo, you're going, okay, so far you're mentioning pay-per-views that you've been advertised you're going to be appearing at. But for him to then throw it all back on the Royal Rumble and say, look, guys, we've always known that I'm going to be appearing at the Royal Rumble. But how about this? How about I actually enter the Royal Rumble? And yeah, how about I win? How about I go in there and I win it so I can get myself a world championship match opportunity at WrestleMania? How about that? How about we do that? So I don't know. When I heard that, I was excited. But at the same time, I'm looking at that going, see, that right there. See, I don't know if it was a wise idea for WWE to announce all the PLEs that he would be appearing in at 2025. There's a part of me that respects it, because WWE is going, look, you never got a chance to see John Cena before, or hey, look, we won't just give you ample of enough time. John Cena, like, this is it, and this is where you can see him. So, right. So on the one, it really depends. But when you look at this story arc here, okay, so John Cena is going to try to get a world heavyweight championship. Go back to what we were talking about several weeks ago. We had a listener that was responding to rumors about John Cena and what could possibly happen with him at WrestleMania. What was it? What was the rumor? Remember, guys, we had a listener that said something like, but remember, the way that he spun it as it was fact that John Cena would be taking on Logan Paul at this year's WrestleMania. And remember, I said, hey, like, I looked that up online, Bing, Google search, wasn't able to come across that information. Not even, as rumor has it, wasn't even able to come across it that way. It's kind of, what are we talking about here? Like, how, like, where are we getting this, right? And I remember saying, now look, if we want to throw around ideas on who John Cena is potentially going to be facing at this WrestleMania, what could potentially be his last WrestleMania. You guys remember the two names that I threw out there at you? Now, I did give an honorable mention to Logan Paul. I said, if you want to look at that from just a really good marketing standpoint, like, oh, yeah. I mean, talk about great worlds colliding there. You know, Logan Paul and his social media influence, his respective fan base and everything, and then John Cena and what he's been able to do, and not just the wrestling fans he's able to tap into, but entertainment wise and everything, right? Like, yeah, that would be a good, that's going to get you money for sure. But I said to you guys, I don't know if I would do that at a WrestleMania. You should definitely do Logan Paul, John Cena as part of the farewell tour for sure. I kind of felt, but I said in regards to homing in on that last WrestleMania, I say, yo, you either give that nod to a Braun Breaker if he has a World Heavyweight Championship, right? Way to pay it forward because he is the future of the company and all that, without a doubt. Or John Cena, Gunther. I even gave an honorable mention to Randy Orton. Just non-title match, just two guys for old time's sake. But I lean more heavily towards Braun Breaker, Gunther for a championship. Go back. I said it about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, right here on this show on a Monday night, and I still stand behind that. So we'll see what happens and how everything pans out. But I really love the idea of a Gunther John Cena match at WrestleMania. Who you guys got? Who you guys got? First of all, do you think John Cena is gonna win it? Is he gonna win the Royal Rumble? And then second of all, the way things are kind of outlining right now, it's safe to say Cena and Gunther. I think for Cody is going to circle back to Roman Reigns. I honestly feel that in my heart of hearts, but stranger things have happened. I know. So we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But that's the news that's going on there with John Cena. By the way, I wanted to share with you guys some exclusive news in regards to John Cena. Shout out to you, John Cena fans out there. Apparently, there is a new Funko pop figure of John Cena that is up for sale. I'm trying to see if I can find the site for you guys. It's available for pre-order right now. It'll set you back $15. $15. It's not going to be shipping out until mid-June. So bear that in mind. Trying to see if I can Funko. Let me just type in Funko John Cena, and I should be able to get it that way for you guys. I just want to make sure. Yes, I got the first link for you guys here. Let's see where it is here. I was able to find it. Yeah, you can pre-order right now until January 13th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And you can get it at funko.com. And again, it'll set you back $15. And when you look at the Funko Pop, pretty much this attire that John Cena is wearing for this figure. Matter of fact, I think I can actually, there you go. Sorry to my audio only listeners, but I'm actually showing the Funko figure on screen to our webcast and audience right now. That's actually what he was wearing tonight and everything. So I know for those of you that are curious if I'm going to be buying that attire that John Cena was wearing tonight, the actual attire. No, I already told my wife. I said, because she asked me, she said, I bet you want that John Cena attire, don't you? I said, no. I was like, I still got my other joint that I had showed off, the red version and all that, with the door and all that stuff. I think is it. No, it's in the other room. I got that. No, I'm trying to get my Jaden Daniels Washington Commanders jersey. I really love what that young QB has done this season for Washington. And look, even if they go into Tampa Bay, what is it this weekend, and they lose, hey, it's all good. I'm still on cloud nine. Really fantastic season. All right, from there, Rhea Ripley defeating Liv Morgan to regain her women's championship. Boy, 2025 is off to a fantastic start for the women's division, is it not, fam? Because, hey, let's not forget about SmackDown. Let's not forget about SmackDown, which was really solid. It was the first 3-hour edition of SmackDown. And for those of you that are curious, Triple H did note uh, that at some point, SmackDown will be going back to 2 hours. A lot of people are under the impression SmackDown is maybe going to go back to 2 hours, maybe this summer. I have to wait and see how that pans out. But in the meantime, SmackDown first 3 hours. I polled you guys wanting to know, what did you all think of the first 3 hour SmackDown on the USA Network? And you guys were really freaking cool. Vast majority of you guys were like, yo, I enjoyed it. It was actually pretty good. Actually looking at the polling results right now. Pull this bad boy up here. Where we at here? 2 days ago. Yep, I'm looking at it. Hang on. Oh, I did have it. Hang on. I just lost it that quick, but I can find it again really quickly here. For some reason, it scrolled back up to the top, and I don't know why. There we go. It looks like we have 2 ties. I'm seeing the first tie at 7%. Half of you didn't enjoy it overall. The other half of you said it was a below average episode. And then our second tie is at 43%, where half of you said it was an average show, and the other half of you said it was a awesome show. It's kind of one of those. Can we get maybe a little bit more concrete of a polling result, Lee? Well, over on YouTube, we do have a more broader sense. 7% of you guys said it was a below average show. Meanwhile, 14% of you all said it was an average show. 79% of you said it was an awesome show. Look, for me, honestly, the main highlight from SmackDown, which ties into Monday Night Raw, we didn't lose track. It's just, remember what I said, yo, 2025 is off to a great start with the women's divisions there, because on SmackDown, Nia Jax lost her women's championship to Tiffany Stratton. It is officially now Tiffy time. Look, y'all know how I feel about Nia Jax. I have loved me some Nia Jax for a long time. I've even admitted, though, yo, she's messing up too much in the ring. I've been very critical, not to the point of name calling, degrading her. I know you all ain't got no problem doing that, but I got respect for my women 24/7. Just that's just the way I was raised, man. Like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna roll like that. I just can't. I just can't. But my criticism has always been constructive, and it's always been from a place of not just concern, but just wanting for her to do better. And I got to tell you, her coming back to the WWE this second go round, say what you will, but it seems as though she has had a more serious chip on her shoulders and proving her naysayers wrong, that she does belong. And I got to give her a lot of credit. She got 10 times better in the ring. And the fact that she lost a considerable amount of weight, taking a lot of that pressure off the knees, particularly, and everything, it helped her out a great deal. But even as much of a Jax fan as I am, even I will admit to you guys that Nia Jax's championship reign got very ice cold, very, very ice cold. And it just seemed as though very quickly WWE hit a brick wall, much like with Liv Morgan. It's kind of one of those, okay, look, when you're hot, you kind of got a little something going there. Got a little something going there. Okay, let's go with this. Let's see what happens here. And Tiffany Stratton, say what you will, which really there's hardly any criticism about Tiffany Stratton whatsoever. She gets a reaction every single time. Every little thing that she does, she gets a reaction. Quickly becoming very well respected in the ring. So to see her become the new SmackDown Women's Champion, good move on WWE's part. They need a fresh start anyway and everything. So now it becomes I think even more interesting as far as what happens with Tiffany Stratton there on the SmackDown side of things. How I'm kind of looking at that whole picture and everything, and I can't help but wonder in regards to Jade Cargill. Does Jade Cargill come back and is it revealed that maybe Tiffany Stratton was the one that somehow, because she kind of looked at Jade as a potential threat long term in her plans and trying to become a women's champion there? Or is maybe Jade, when she comes back, is she maybe going to focus on Naomi? Because maybe Naomi was the one that took her out, uh, or was it maybe Charlotte? Is Charlotte the one that maybe took out Jay Cargill? It definitely was some seeds planted there. I can't wait to see what happens with Tiffany Stratton going forward. I would imagine, though, for like the immediate future, Nia Jax, definitely a rematch. I can definitely see Candice LeRae, trying to get her comeuppings as well. But the fact that we officially got a hard reset on the SmackDown side of things for the women's division, that's great. Looking at the Raw side of the division, again, great match between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. All the matches tonight, thoroughly enjoyed. Everybody did a phenomenal job. The main event match itself really hit it out of the fucking park, I personally feel. But Rhea Ripley winning the championship. Look, Liv Morgan, right time, right place. I don't think any of us would disagree with that. And probably the very best thing to happen for Liv Morgan was Dom Mysterio. That was really the best thing that happened to her, honestly. And at the same time, it forced her to up her game. Her mic work leaps and bounds better, having more of that commanding presence and interacting with the crowd. you know I mean, she really improved in all of those aspects, and so she became a pretty hot hand at the right time. I do feel creative could have done even more with Liv Morgan there. Because honestly, once you took Dom and Liv and you just sandwiched them in there, it's like taking a square and trying to put it into a circular little peg there or whatever, circular hole. Like it just once they took Liv and Dom and they just crammed them in there in that whole Judgment Day, and it was getting to a point where they were kind of taking a little bit of a backseat. That for me, they were doing harm. Creative was doing more harm than good, I personally felt. Um, didn't like that whatsoever. Did not like that whatsoever. And as a result of that, you started seeing things get ice cold relatively quick for Liv Morgan. Dom, even though he was being pushed back, Dom was still getting the reactions. But Liv, particularly, she was getting cold really quick. The other issue, unlike SmackDown, where you can go in so many directions there, and at the core, you got, hey, who did what they did there to Jade Cargill? If at all, like, who was it? You got that going on. On the Raw side of things, you're looking at it and you're going, we really haven't done that well of a job in building up women that the fans can really give a damn about. And greatest examples of that, you look at Zoe Stark, you look at Lyra Valkyria, you look at Kaden Carter, you look at Katana Chance, right? You look at all of those. I know some people may not like me going long-winded talking about the women, but if we can put as much focus on the men, we should be able to put as much focus on the women as well, right? Give them their time in the spotlight and everything. But you look at, okay, who have we really built up on the Raw side of things? Okay, we built up Liv Morgan. Rhea's already set, like, like she's good to go. But okay, so put Rhea to the side, like forget about Rhea. Okay, we got Liv. Who else? Uh 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 well, we got Chelsea Green. Well, Chelsea Green is now your women's United States champion, right? She's pretty much now, I guess she's a SmackDown girl now, her and Piper somehow. I don't know. But you get what I'm saying? Like, we really haven't built up properly. And Lord only knows that once you get Becky Lynch back and once you get Charlotte back, it's going to be their show once again. And really, when it comes to, okay, who can actually build up women properly, and or it's nice to have options of girls that can build up, those girls are going to help tremendously. If you really take a step back and you think about their respective contributions alone, they're definitely going to, when they come back, they're definitely going to do their worth and then some. I'm happy to see Rhea Ripley back. Rhea Ripley wasn't able to celebrate that long. We got an appearance there by Deadman, The Undertaker, Mark Calloway. Look, you can tell me all you want until you're blue in the face that that's Undertaker. When I hear American Badass, I just go, no, that's Mark Calloway, because he talks and everything now, right? So it was great seeing him. I got to tell you, I got a really cool seeing him. I legit got a smile on my face. And I was like, hey, it's the dead man. And to see him posing with Rhea Ripley and all that, that was a really cool, badass moment. I really did enjoy that. And I'm well aware that Undertaker is a Republican. But guess what? Undertaker is that type of Republican who I can respect from the standpoint of, okay, you're going to like who you're going to like, you're going to vote who you're going to vote for. But you know what? At least you're not doing it in a way where it just comes off really, really tacky and just really, really, like, I can look past that because you're not doing like some people and you're accepting speech and you're talking politics. And it's like, dude, go do a political movie and I'll see you in that when it comes to talking political. Like, for now, like, I just want you to shout out the fans, shout out, that got you to where you are for that award that's in your hand right now. Like, just keep it simple, my dog. Keep it simple. Hulk Hogan, on the other hand, let's go there. So Hulk Hogan comes out, probably the greatest fucking moment of the entire night, and I never popped so hard in my life. As soon as that annoying ass guitar riff went off, I said, oh, fuck. Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart coming out, bullhorn. Hey, there's Jimmy. All right, Jimmy. Good old Jimmy. Then I see that tired ass old man with that yellow handlebar mustache and the bandana coming on out there. I'm going, all right. This nigga. What this nigga gotta say? What he gotta say? So he comes on out there. I'm hearing the crowd. They're booing him. It started off mixed reactions. Mixed reactions. And I'm automatically, as all this is transpiring, I'm going, and how did California vote in the 2024 election? Kamala Harris won California, right? So, I want people to understand something, because we got this narrative that's out there that, Undertaker, he's a Republican, but nobody booed him, so, what's up with, that's because Taker is very well respected. Taker is beloved. He is, like, for the wrestling fan, he is a national treasure. Hulk Hogan, on the other hand, Hulk Hogan, on the other hand, this is a case where, okay, over 58% of Californians voted for Harris. Trump came in at 38%. So, yeah, I'm going to go there and say part of it, just part of it, when the Hulkster came out, part of it was the way he rubbed Trump and all that. But the vast majority of it, make no mistake about it, the vast majority of why that crowd, after the theme song died down and the crowd, okay, song's over, we can really let them have it now. They were booing his ass. They booed his ass out of the damn building. Main reason why Californians, much like most wrestling fans, most people don't like the Hulkster. They know fake ass when they see it. And the Hulkster is fake as fuck. That's the truth. That's the truth. You look at the whole, I mean, we'd be here all night just counting the ways, right? But instead of pulling a Tony Braxton, how many ways I love you? No, it's like, how many ways have you shown to us that you're a fuck up, Hogan? Let's count the ways. You know, and he's fake. And he's always going into business for himself. He's always got to make it be about himself, right down to the point. Hey, brothers and sisters. Hey, it's great to be back out here, Hulkamaniacs. Let me tell you, the reason why I'm here, brother, I got this new beer. Oh, when they heard the whole beer, the beginnings of the beer plug, oh, they really lit into his ass. They really lit into his ass. And then he thought he was going to be able to get cheap pops by mentioning Andre and Macho Man. And it's like, nah. These fans, they know your playbook. They know your tired ass shit when they hear it. They know you are fake. They know you are not sincere. They know that you are all about the money. Right. And you look, Hogan better be, and I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is crying a tear and hugging his pillow extra tight tonight because he's got that WWE sponsorship deal for his American bill. I said American bill. Yeah, he is getting an American bill, all right, for that beer. But Hogan is getting a nice partner there with WWE because apparently WWE has bought a certain percentage of American beer to become an official partner. So I think that's a very interesting. And if you saw the reports out there about, American beer is a sponsor, if you didn't get a chance to see it tonight on Raw, you will when you watch it for on demand. American beer's logo is in the ring. Their logo is in the ring. So for me, Hogan, he can eat. He can eat. Oh my god, fam, y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know. I can't stand that mofo. I'll tell you, when the guitar riff went off, that Booker T image, that's how I felt. You know the Booker T image I'm talking about. Hogan's doing a hug to somebody, and Booker T's just looking on behind him. He's got this disgusted look on his face. That literally was your man seeing the Hogan come out there tonight. I call it the Hogan, like he's the Rock. Hulk Hogan come out there. Lowest point of the night. Very revealing at the same time as well, though, because look at it also from this standpoint in regards to the Hulkster. Look at it from this standpoint. That says a lot, doesn't it? That Triple H, Paul Levesque, and crew, as far as an olive branch to Ric Flair. Oh, let's get Ric Flair back and let's have him appear as an on-screen character again. Let's have him. Oh, he's got that Woo energy drink. He's got Woo wings or something. Let's see if we can. That speaks volumes. That Triple H, Paul Levesque, and crew. have yet to sit down with the Nature Boy Ric Flair and put him in a position where they're like, okay, let's do business together. Let's make some money. How can we make this beneficial for the both of us, especially in regards to branding? Like, how can we do this? Let's brainstorm. The fact that WWE has not done that yet, it speaks volumes to me. I mean, just think about that for a second. At one point, we've got Triple H, Paul Levesque going, hey, as far as studying from the greats, Harley Race and Lou Thez, Ric Flair, and being able to spend that significant amount of time with Ric Flair in the WWE back in the day. To go from all of that and to now, it's a very telling tale. But let me tell you all something. If I were to see, as I'm walking down the street, Tessa Blanchard and Hulk Hogan, come on, fam, you already know who I'm going to walk up to first. I'm going to walk up to Tessa Blanchard. That's who I'm walking up to. Because at least I can look at Tessa Blanchard and go, okay, you know what? Not for nothing, but the men that she's dated in the past, even right down to the point when she got engaged, she was involved in multiple interracial relationships. So at least I can look at Tessa Blanchard and go, okay, her dropping the N-word, my impression from a distance, and I'm sure I'm pretty positive she would say, yeah. If somebody would actually ask the questions and not pussyfoot around, I'm sure she would say this, but I would like to believe that she used that word towards La Rosa Negra because she felt that, hey, since a part of her certain friends that she hung out with, and maybe that word was thrown around a lot, eventually it became part of her vocabulary. When you got to be careful when you're around people that you really don't know, because you don't know how they roll. You don't know if they're going to take offense and all that other stuff, right? Amazing how so many people, bent out of shape over that, right? And yet, when it all counted the most to the person it really mattered to, like Rosa Negra, who accepted the apology, took a picture, all that, we still got people throwing Tessa Blanchard under the bus. But I tell you what, I'd be willing to give Tessa Blanchard more of a chance than that goddamn Hulk Hogan. Straight up. Straight up. Jey Uso taking on Drew McIntyre. Jey Uso barely getting away with the win there, doing a roll up there at the end. This pretty much came as a result of Drew McIntyre pretty much most of the match kicking Jey Uso's ass. And then when it was all said and done, he was reaping the rewards, or at least McIntyre thought, and he was trying to savor the victory, what should have been a victory, but he pussyfooted around too long, and when he ultimately tried to go for a Claymore kick, Jey Uso getting a roll up win. Drew McIntyre looking on like, what the hell just happened? I can tell you this, Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre, far from done. I promise you, the next time we see Jey Uso on site, my pretty babies, Drew McIntyre is going to beat that ass down. Rest assured on that. That is definitely in Jey Uso's future. Jey Uso is talking about world championship opportunities and getting his in 2025. You don't pissed off the Scottishman and Drew McIntyre, and that's the last thing that you want there is pissing him off. So them boys just getting started. I wouldn't mind seeing Jey and Drew run it back at Royal Rumble, if that's even possible. I wouldn't mind seeing that play about. By the way, next week we know one of the matches that's going to be going down is the women's intercontinental finals. Lyra Valkyria taking on man, who is she taking on? I think she is it Dakota Kai? I think it's Dakota Kai that she's taking on there. Memory's drawing a little bit of a blank right now. Also, mark this down on your calendars. Monday, January 27th. Looks like we're going to be getting, I guess, the first trailer for WWE 2K25. It was really badass how WWE went about revealing this during Raw. We go to this segment where Paul Heyman is congratulating Roman Reigns on the victory. And they're basically talking about how they're going to be able to celebrate this milestone and how they will basically be able to officially acknowledge, this milestone of a achievement and all that. And Roman Reigns is like January 27th, right? Because you're ready to hear Roman Reigns say, let's follow up on this week's SmackDown. But Roman just goes, January 27th. Let's do that. And Paul Heyman's going, January 27th. Okay. Yeah, my tribal chief. All right, January 27th. They go into what you think is a locker room. And there's like this plaque on the door, and it reads WWE 2K25. So it's like, that's what's going on. Okay. I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to see the trailer. That should be badass. Also, we got a new Penta trailer. There were some really bad rumors that was running around for about a week where it was alleged that Pentagon Jr. was going to have this whole different name. I scoffed at it and I just said, this must be, spoof news. This must be, what's the right word I'm looking for? Parody news or whatever. But sadly, some of the people were latching on to it and saying, oh no, what is WWE thinking? They're being stupid. I can't even remember the name that allegedly he was going under, because I just looked at that and said, no way, no how. That's like stupid. But we saw definitively tonight, because we got a new graphic that not only took the shape of the mask, but the text let you know exactly who it was that was going to be coming soon to WWE, Pentagon Jr. And I believe, mark it down, if you haven't thought about it yet, I believe we're going to be seeing him as early as next week. Reason why I'm saying that is because Adam Pearce looks as though he was making some power moves. We saw him having a conversation with Bailey, and the tail end of that sounded as though Bailey was saying to Adam Pearce, look, if you can make this trade happen, definitely it'd be beneficial to the both of us. And yeah, I'm ready to go. And so Pierce pretty much, okay, let me see what I can do. And yeah, I'm game. I'm down. Bailey was pretty stoked for that. So seems as if we're gonna potentially be seeing Bailey come back to the Raw brand, which, you know what, I'd be okay with that. Honestly, I'd be okay with that. And then Chad Gable appeared talking with Pierce afterwards and letting him know, hey, this whole thing with luchadors and everything, just to show you I ain't got no more issues with luchadors. I want you to give me the best luchador that you can find. I want to take him on in the match. And Adam Pearce was like, really? He's like, yeah, give me any luchador of legendary status. I'm willing to take him on. Right? It's all good. Adam Pearce, okay, I got somebody for you for next week. I know the person just in mind. Let me go make a phone call. Safe to say that's going to be Pentagon Jr. So very stoked to see Pentagon. That's going to be a great freaking crowd pop for Pentagon Jr. As well. Main event match of the night, CM Punk taking on Seth Rollins. This is the one feud that WWE has done right. Everything, the build-up, full context, these breadcrumbs that has led to this, and it's built upon on this as a result, and then we intertwine this, everything that they have done with this for the past several months and way they've been able to string it all back several years. I wish all the rivalries could somehow be like this within reason, right? Give a rhyme to reason why certain individuals are going at it instead of the old instant Acme feud, as I like to call it. This has been well done, and how everything had played out tonight was a really good payoff. One thing that I did not anticipate, damn good back and forth between both men. I love the fact that this was a all out brawl type of feel and everything. Beautiful end to this match. I love the fact that leading up to the end, these guys are doing each other's finishes on one another and they're kicking out of them and everything. And then finally, action over by the announcer's table, abusing the hell out of the 10 count, making sure the referee doesn't count them out. And the referee's like, you're really, really stretching me out here. You need to stop it. Referee's trying to do his best. By the way, where was Jessica Carr? If she was here during the night, I must have not been paying attention, but I didn't see Jessica Carr. Speaking of the refs, I love the new referee shirts that they got. I looked at that. I said, yo, I want one. It looks badass. So they've ditched, for those of you that don't know, they've ditched the traditional black and white. Black and white is no more. Now they are pushing these dark gray, charcoal type of collared shirts. And it's got a white W on the left chest blade. I love it. It looks really badass. I'm hoping that WWE will consider, as a test run, having a couple of those be available for sale. Those look really, really good. What better way too to show your love and support for WWE? Because you got some people, they don't want to push a cartoon or some type of a wrestler text that a lot of people aren't going to understand. Some people just want to keep it simplistic and they just want to push the W just to show their fandom. I think if they made a couple of shirts like that be available, yeah, they definitely would be in a really good place. But if there was ever a reason to watch Monday Night Raw, this was it right here. This was it. Oh, the near falls in this one. These boys told a fantastic story. And at the end there to hit, was it Seth Rollins hitting the Falcon Arrow? And then he tried to go for the go to sleep, but CM Punk somehow was able to counter that. He hits a go to sleep. Seth Rollins ends up bouncing off the rope somehow and land right into the shoulders of CM Punk yet again. And Punk hits another go to sleep. And then just 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, CM Punk picks up the W. Make no mistake about it, because I know some people are going to be looking at this. Damn. So it's just 1, 2, 3, like just like that in the middle of the ring, just like, nah. And look, at this point, let's be real. Something that we did not touch upon from last week. That mic duel between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, although it was really good, you really got the impression that both men, they jotted down some key bullet points. And it's kind of safe to say, maybe to a degree, the other person didn't know what the other person was going to be saying and all that. You just kind of got the impression, though, that in regards, like, just go back and watch that promo. You just can't help but come away and say, man, CM Punk really destroyed Seth Rollins there in that promo segment. I mean, just go back and really analyze that, right? I know that was last week, but I definitely, if y'all not haven't really thought about it that deep, go back and really listen to that promo. Because that combined with what happened tonight, I think at this point, CM Punk may feel as though in story he's done with Seth Rollins. But I bet you $1 Seth Rollins is not done with CM Punk. To my point, I think that, and I'm hoping that what we got going on here is we're going to see a more unhinged Seth Rollins. That we're going to see a Seth Rollins essentially that is going to somewhat go back to basics, but not quite. I think at this point, the hey, I'm a good guy too. Like I didn't do anything wrong. Like I think that Seth Rollins just needs to go away. We need to see a Seth Rollins that for all intents and purposes is a bitter bitch. And he just needs to be unhinged, right? If it's true that, and of course, it's not true, but you get what I'm saying. If we got Rollins saying when he looks at CM Punk, oh, cancer this, and I need to eliminate you from my brain, from my soul. It's the only way I can be rid of you. I'm gonna send you out of this company, pack in, right? Because I'm looking to injure you. I'm gonna hurt you, and all this other stuff. Then we need to see a Seth Rollins that comes out and does the most heinous, despicable. We need to see a Seth Rollins that he hasn't eaten, he hasn't slept, he hasn't spent time with his wife, with his kid, right? We need to see a Rollins that does the unthinkable to CM Punk, right? If they are going to pull the trigger on John Cena at the Royal Rumble, be a great moment to see John Cena, CM Punk at some point in the Rumble. That would be a great, especially let the crowd breathe it in. That'd be a great moment in itself and everything. But man, there's your WrestleMania, one of your main events there. I'm trying to think if WrestleMania is going to be a 2-night. I don't think. Let's see here. Trying to see what's going on with WrestleMania real quick. Because if WrestleMania is going to be a 2-night event, CM Punk, yeah. Well, wait. Hang on. I got it in Wikipedia right now. All right, let's see what's going on here. 1 night or 2? Yeah, it's going to be a 2-night event. It's going to be a 2-night event. So if it's going to be a 2-night event, Punk and Rollins may just be able to main event night 1 at least. They just might be able to do it. I could see Rollins doing something to CM Punk, if not the next week, the week after. Punk is out. He unfortunately misses the Royal Rumble, which is great because that clears the deck a little bit more for John Cena. And will he or won't he be able to tell his story and all that? WWE's got a little bit ways. They got a couple of weeks to really figure this all out, what path they're going to be on and everything. But I thought for this week, I know some people are going to look at this episode and they're going to be like, no, average. No, I felt that the matches that we got on the card tonight, it really felt as though the men and women really tried to go out there and give the fans their money's worth. It really did feel like we were getting some pay-per-view quality type of outings from everybody involved. The fact that we had this stacked with all of our favorites too, from Raw and SmackDown, pretty much, because we got Cody in them, Roman, The Rock, Undertaker. I mean, when you lend that type of star power to the Netflix premiere, like really, really good as far as I'm concerned. Let's go to the polls. Let's see how you guys had voted for tonight's WWE Raw on Netflix. Let's go to youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the post section and vote that. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. Early voting on YouTube, I'm showing 100% of you thought it was an awesome show. Better gauge Twitter. Let's go to Twitter here at the RCWR show. Let's see what you guys are saying. 10 of you felt that it was a below average episode. Meanwhile, 8% of you didn't like the episode at all. You heard me right. 8% of you did not like the episode at all. 33% of you thought it was an average episode. Well, 53% of you said it was a awesome show. Appreciate you guys that voted. Yeah, I'm with the 53% as far as awesome show overall. I am picking up a whole bunch of likes. I am picking up a whole bunch of tweets, likes and all that. Oh my God. I'm seeing some of the people that posted what they posted in regards to because I actually went on WWE's joint. Some funny ass shit, man. Some funny ass shit. And then Ice Queen Shiva. There's always that one person, Ice Queen Shiva. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you. Oh my God. Y'all funny as hell. Y'all funny as hell. What's going on here? Oh, there you are. I was wondering why we got looks like the signal is getting a little weak, but you guys should be okay there. We should be all right there. Anyway, what was I saying there? What was I saying there? I can't remember what I was saying there because we had a little bit of buffering that was going on, but it's all good. Hey, I hope you guys are doing well because man, there. Yeah, there we are. Are you guys, you know what? Let me actually watch this stream back because I'm trying to figure out if you guys are experiencing some type of lag or something that you all's in. Let me see what's going on here. Hopefully it's not connectivity issues because we did get a lot of snow. That's what I was trying to say. We got hit big time. It dropped for us over here in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. It dropped for us over here beginning 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock Saturday. Let me think. I think 9 o'clock Saturday night or a little bit after midnight. That's when we started to get a whole bunch of snow. And I've already done my fair share of shoveling earlier today. I ended up shoveling not just my sidewalk, but I did one, two, three. I did four of my next door neighbors' sidewalks as well. I didn't do their front steps. I'm like, they can do that. Like, if they can't clear that, that little path for themselves, that's on them. I took a break, but my back ended up being pretty sore. So my wife was like, look, I'll go out there, I'll touch up whatever needs to be touched up. And so she did. And the rudest, most jacked up thing had happened when she was out there shoveling. Some male neighbor that lives at like this end house, like we don't interact with them. I mean, because they're like 3, 4 houses down. We don't have anything to say to them. And obviously they don't have anything to say to us because it's not like we're next door neighbors. But the guy sees my girl shoveling and he goes, "Oh, good exercise, huh?" And my wife, man, don't piss her off, because when you piss her off, she's like, she don't want to have anything to do with you. So she looked at him, and with that silver tongue of hers, she said, "You have a good night." And I guess he got the message, because he didn't say shit else to her. And I said, now for some of you guys that's kind of going, well, damn, why was she upset there? Two things. One, I don't know how it is for you guys growing up, but whenever I would see a woman of any age shoveling, I don't care if they're skinny, big, whatever. If I see old, young, if I see a woman that is shoveling snow, I'm gonna go, oh, hey, how you doing? You know, looks like we got hit pretty bad, huh? Hey, do you need any help? I've got a little bit of energy. Do you need to take a break? Like, that's called being a good neighbor. That's called being respectful. And the fact that that guy just acted like an asshole like that, it's like, whoa, like that's not cool. So please, fam, don't do your fellow neighbor like that. Right? I always tell you guys, when we get hit with snow and everything, look out for those, particularly that are disabled, elderly, those that, mobility wise, they aren't really able to get around like that. And then even at that, nothing's wrong with knocking on your fellow neighbor's door. Hey, I'm just looking at your sidewalk here, or looking at your driveway. You good? You need any help? And the act of kindness, it goes a long, long way. And look, if you see your neighbor, like, the last thing you want to say to them is, "Oh, good exercise." Like, especially if it's a woman, that's like the last thing you should be saying. How about don't say anything at all? That's my going rule. Like, don't say anything at all. I know when I was out there shoveling earlier in the day, nobody was saying anything to me. Uh, I wasn't expecting anybody to say anything, but I know I got to clear the cars out later. Hey, you guys see that stuff that's going on with Skip Bayless and this whole lawsuit drama? So, for those of you not aware, a former Fox Sports hairstylist is suing the company, presenters, and certain executives at FS1 Fox Sports, alleging racism, bullying, wrongful termination, sexual misconduct, sexual harassment. This woman named, and I'm not going to mention her name. I'm going to be respectful to her and everything. Um, but she is outing, allegedly, that Skip Bayless, going as far back as like 2016. So I guess a year or two before Skip Bayless got married to Ernestine. The only reason why I know that name is because he would always bring that name up on the show. And we would spend years not knowing who the hell he was talking about until he started putting her on the show with Lil Wayne and all of them. I guess that was his way of trying to show that, Shannon, don't need to be all about you. I can bring these other people in here. Whatever, dude. But listen to this. This is off the top of my memory here. So as far back as like 2016, allegedly, this hairstylist was being sexually harassed by Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless would talk about how attractive she looked, and pulling the Al Green, y'all to be with me, girl, y'all to be with me. Right down to the point, allegedly, Skip Bayless offered her $1.5 million to sleep with him. And she's like, no, like, hey, don't you got Ernestine? Like, aren't you seeing somebody? Like, no, that's not, no, that's not cool. Like, nah. And then she's telling him, hey, I have a husband, and I'm not gonna do him like that. Like, no, I'm not interested. Skip Bayless comes back. So, here's some racial overtone for you. Well, don't you have a husband? Like, you're Muslim, right? So don't, like, Muslim husbands have like 4, 5, 6, 7 wives? Like, come on. Every time he would see her, um, improper hugs, touching up on her, all that. You're just like, whoa. Then at one point, Skip Bayless allegedly confronts her, saying, "Hey, I heard that you were sleeping around with Shannon Sharp. So obviously, it's my turn. It's my turn right now." Um, she's like, "No, nothing going on between me and Shannon Sharp. Like, we're cool. Like, we're just friends. Like, I respect Shannon. Like, nothing's happening with weird stuff going on there in regards to Skip Bayless." Now, apparently, a new Skip Bayless podcast had dropped earlier Monday, and a lot of people were shocked that, he doesn't mention anything about the allegations. What the hell? He doesn't mention anything about the allegations. What the hell? Newsflash for you people. I hate to burst the bubble and everything. Now, Skip Bayless does have the power as the podcaster, as the presenter, to go, "Hey, I don't want this episode being released because we had this go down. I want to address that. So let's scrap that episode. We'll record a new one and we'll just put some type of a press release out, letting folks know when that new episode is going to drop." He does have that type of power. But that's pretty much as far as it goes. So this episode that dropped, my honest impression, this is probably an episode that he recorded perhaps sometime, depending on the topics that he's covering. He may have had this in the book sometime Saturday or sometime Sunday, and by the time he became aware of the allegations, it could have been a case where, well, damn, I've already got the episode in the books. Or maybe it was a case of, okay, well, I've already got content for this episode. Let me just move on to the next episode and I'll address it on the next episode. So I do feel, though, he will address the allegations. He will address the allegations, right? Keep in mind, this is a man that's talking about how, okay, he's no longer associated with a network. He can now be free. He can do and say what he wants. He doesn't have to worry about any restrictions, yada, 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 yada. Okay. So keep that in the back of your head. So if the very next podcast, you guys don't hear Skip Bayless say something, as I always have told you guys off and on over the years, because I know some people are like, well, if it's not true, why even bother acknowledging it? That's the whole point. The quicker that you get in front of the story, the better, because the longer that you let a story linger and you put out no type of statement whatsoever, that shows, and that can be interpreted as, okay, well, fact that they haven't put out a statement, maybe where there's smoke, there's fire. I'll give you a perfect example. How many of you guys that know your R&B music, how many of you all remember Johnny Gill from New Edition? Remember when he went solo, solo act and all that? Great career, great career. But remember the rumors that were floating around about him for decades, not years, decades, that he was gay. And he didn't finally address it until TV One's Unsung. It's kind of their version of VH1's Behind the Music, which, by the way, I was very shocked to learn this. VH1 Behind the Music is back with new episodes. I was stunned to see this. I BS you not. I am not watching some type of a repeated thing either. These are brand new episodes. I watched one on Milli Vanilli. I watched one on George Michael. There's even a new one on Culture Club, believe it or not. So I just was like, what? So check your local listings. Wasn't until Johnny Gill did, and this was probably about now, maybe almost 8 years ago, it feels like. Somewhere between, let me think for a second. Yeah, it feels like it was almost 8 years ago that Johnny Gill did an episode of Unsung where he addressed the gay rumors. And the producers asked him, they said, look, you had these rumors that were lingering around like all this time. Like, why didn't you address it before? Why didn't you address it as soon as it first hit? He's like, oh, I thought it was silly. Honestly, I thought it was beneath me. I also thought that it was nobody's business, whatever my sexual preference was. Like, that's just me. It's like, you're honestly paying to see me perform and all that. Like, it don't matter. But, yeah, in hindsight, you know what? Especially if it wasn't true, I should have gotten in front of it as soon as it started populating and just squash it right then and there. And I remember he looked dead into the camera. He was like, not gay, never had any relationships with any men. You looked at that and you're like, so the longer this lingers on with Skip Bayless, but wait, it gets worse, fam. Joy Taylor is mentioned in this lawsuit, as this hairstylist alleges that when some of the stuff was going on with Skip Bayless and his unwanted advances, which one of the things that was most disturbing to hear, Skip Bayless at one point, oh, I want you so bad, I can taste it. Like, I want you so bad. And she's like, she lied and said something about something was going on with her ovaries or whatever. She was trying to say that she, maybe had cancer, and hoping that would get rid of his advances, right? Because what guy is gonna, oh, you're damaged goods, right? That is what an ignorant mofo would say. But Skip was still coming on to her. So she's taking some of these things that she's noticing. She goes to Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor, get over it. Deal with it. You're like, whoa. And then apparently Joy Taylor ended up getting all the power that she has now and everything, the leverage that she has now, because apparently she slept her way to the top. So the former basketball player that she was engaged to, I might have it mixed up. I believe she was married at one point. That was a domestic violent situation. Bad. I remember she early on in the Undisputed days, she would talk about being a domestic abuse survivor and everything. And then she got engaged to some guy. That engagement got broke off because allegedly this guy found out that she was sleeping around with a Fox Sports 1 executive. And apparently this was ultimately the same executive that pulled the trigger and having Joy Taylor become the moderator for Undisputed. Because remember, before Undisputed, apparently she was just doing bartending and some other stuff. And Skip did not want to have anything to do with her. Skip did not want her as the moderator. He wanted somebody more qualified, more respectable, and all. He shot her down multiple times. And this FS1 executive pretty much said, look, do me a personal favor here. And Bayless reluctantly, also, it alleges in the lawsuit that apparently Joy Taylor tried to mess around with Skip. She tried to sleep with him, but Skip wasn't having any of it. He shut it down. Kind of interesting to hear that, right? I guess peanut butter flavor is it's not his cup of tea. I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know. Anyway, so you got all that drama that's going on. Apparently, Joy Taylor made fun of this hairstylist accent and her mispronunciation, enunciation of certain words. Whole lot of stuff that's going on in here. But the fact that Joy Taylor kind of sleeping her way to the top and all of that, it's worth a really good read. And I definitely want to give a shout out to AJ Perez, who did a fantastic job. He was the one that really, jumped on it, and something that he's been working on with his respected sources for the past couple of weeks. And look, the main thing that I want for you guys to pay attention to, because I know after hearing all of this, some of you guys may be going, so this is the reason why the Undisputed show ended. Maybe there's a lot more to why Shannon Sharp left, because he was seeing what was on the horizon and he didn't want to have anything. And he pretty much put out a statement saying, hey, he ain't got nothing to do with that. And he doesn't appreciate people having his name as clickbait. That's disgusting that people are using his name as clickbait when he's not mentioned at all in this lawsuit over basically sexual battery and all that, and like 13 to 20 other counts of other ridiculous things going on in that. But some people are looking at the end of Undisputed wondering, okay, wonder if the FS1 executives knew what time it was, and they wanted to kind of clear the deck so they could say, hey, we got rid of the problem people, so what the hell, right? This woman is also alleging that there was a female employee that got denied basically a contract renewal. She wasn't able to continue on her employment because she refused to have sex with an executive. Why am I going on and on and on about this? Some of you guys may wonder and everything. Well, we've talked about Skip Bayless and all that in the past, but the other thing that you need to be focusing on is the fact that Skip Bayless at one point was represented by WWE's Nick Khan, when Nick Khan pretty much had his own publicity agency, and he was representing certain clients and their interests, sponsorship deals, things of that nature. And Nick Khan at one point long ago represented Skip Bayless. Now link it back. You see what's going on there with Lee Fitting, former ESPN executive, and the allegations surrounding him. You look at the allegations that at one point surrounded Michael P.S. Hayes. You look at the allegations against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis. I mean, we'd be here all night just going over the names, but when you play the pyramid game, you see how it all connects to the WWE. I tell you what, for WWE, and this is where I got to push back a little bit here. I love seeing great things going on with the company and everything. But when I see disturbing things like this, where we've got these individuals with these checkered past work history allegations and all that, and yet these people are able to find some type of employment with the WWE, it really sets the narrative, doesn't it? It really sets the tone that, wow, WWE really doesn't give a flying, don't they? They really are concerned about the almighty dollar at the end here, huh? That's what it's all about for them, isn't it? It's like, my God, I guess you got to pull a Chris Benoit in order to, not have any opportunities there with the WWE, huh? It just, you can't help but wonder that. And I'm just thinking about Ari Emanuel, TKO. I'm thinking about his daughter. I'm thinking about Triple H, Paul Levesque, Stephanie McMahon. Great seeing Stephanie sitting at ringside earlier tonight, by the way. I don't know if she's gotten some work done, like Botox wise, but something's going on around the cheek and the jaw area there. Looks a little suspicious. But I'm thinking about them. I'm thinking about The Rock and his daughters. I'm thinking about all of these top heads. And I'm just looking at this and I'm going, so what exactly is going to be your legacy that you leave behind? right? What exactly do you want for people to say about you when you're gone? Sure, you were part of a era of the WWE that, as far as the way in which uh media consumption goes for sports entertainment, professional wrestling, you were part of a new era, and man, WWE under TKO, it most profitable, and all these just landmark blockbuster deals that you guys are making left and right. Like, I mean, that's great and everything, but how are your legacy when it comes to these allegations? I know innocent until proven guilty, right? But man, when you got so many instances, when is enough enough? And you say, okay, going forward, this is what we're going to do. Any controversies whatsoever, we don't need to be attached to that. We don't need to have anything to do with that. We're trying to show to people, our stockholders and everything, that it is a new era. It's a new direction. It's a new way of thinking. It's a new team of management that's at play here. Mm, marinate on that. Marinate on that. But most disturbing thing to come out of the weekend, as far as sports entertainment goes, and all of that. Also, want to give a shout out to the friends, family, and colleagues of WWE alumni Black Bart. Black Bart is entering hospice care. Uh, Rick Harris, who worked in WWE, NWA, and more as Black Bart, he's entered hospice care. This is according to his Facebook account that was posted over the weekend. He announced that basically he has chosen to discontinue chemotherapy in his treatment against stage 4 liver cancer. Yeah. So in a post, the following, this is Casper, who always sits on the arm of Bart's chair. As you can see, he's still sitting even though Bart's not there. Wasn't going to say anything yet, but decided to let his people know he is on hospice. We appreciate the prayers and do wish them to continue. But as I said before, he is no longer taking the chemo, and his cancer was stage 4 when diagnosed in 2022. For those of you wanting autographs, I'm sorry, it's too late for those. Ooh, ooh, mm, damn. I will try to keep you fans updated, but right now is a time for family and friends. His brothers in the business are considered family. I hope the rest of you understand. But immediate family comes first. The rest of you will be notified with updates as soon as the family is ready to give them. But don't think we love you any less. Right now, Bart is still hanging in there. We are keeping him comfortable and pain free. That's all I can say for now. Much love to you all. And the whole thing about this is Casper is a nice, fluffy, pretty big white cat in a picture that's sitting on the recliner there. Hey, look, again, nothing but best wishes, condolences. I hate to say condolences, thoughts. I don't mean to say, I'm being a little bit premature, and I apologize there. It's just from my personal experience, because I've dealt with having a loved one go into hospice care. And like, as I've said off and on over the years, once you enter hospice care, there is no kicking out from that. There is no, oh, well, maybe a miraculous recovery. And yeah, very seldom does a person walk away from stage 4 cancer and lives to tell about it. Hey, I survived it. And I mean, the success rate in defeating stage 4 cancer is very small, very small. That's a sad thing to hear. It really is. And for those of you, you younger folks out there, you're going, man, well, why are they stopping the chemotherapy? Isn't that like keeping them alive and everything? Like, understand the whole process that's going into chemotherapy. And, for some, you know, s- it's about stamina, the endurance. And unfortunately, for some people, they just can't go through it. It's too much for them. You're already left feeling very weak and everything when you go through those rounds. And for some people, it's just way too much, way too much. So they'll stop treatment because at that point, it's like, look, at this point, I just want to be comfortable. I just let Mother Nature do its thing, let it run its course, and we'll just go about it that way. And sounds like that's what he's opting to do there, and family is trying to do their best to honor that. So definitely, you old school wrestling fans out there, if you haven't done so already, go on that Facebook page and send your best wishes and everything. Maybe try to see if they're taking up any flowers. Maybe they could take a GoFundMe so that they can gather up some money, maybe send some flowers, or maybe send an e-card or something like that. I know that's the new thing now. People like sending e-cards and things of that nature. On a little bit of a lighter note, TNA Wrestling has acquired a new domestic TV deal. They announced that Impact will air beginning this week on the New England Sports Network. It looks like Impact will be airing on Saturdays from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., and then Sundays from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. So, and it looks like where they're airing again on the New England Sports Network. Previously, they aired episodes of ROH and OVW. So, if that kind of sounds familiar to you, that is the reason why. Also, AEW Dynamite will replay on True TV on Friday. So, even more fantastic news for AEW fans out there. That I was browsing on Max when I was trying to watch my episodes of The Penguin, and I couldn't help but notice that as far as AEW goes, they got a couple of libraries. I'm going, oh, like that's what's up. But yeah, looks like True TV Fridays, 10 p.m. to midnight. It's kind of interesting when I think about it, because you think about Fridays. Fridays originally, that was all about AEW Rampage, and now it's pretty much going to be, oh well, let's see how Dynamite does with an encore. Keeping my fingers crossed on that one. Going back to TNA, got the updated card for Genesis, which is their next pay-per-view that's going to be coming up on January the 19th. Check out this card. Still a little bit early, but right now we got for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, Nick Nemeth defending against Joe Hendry. Meanwhile, for the TNA tag titles, Hardy's taking on the Rascals, and a X Division Championship match, Moose taking on Ace Austin. We got about what 2.5 weeks to go. I'm sure as we get closer, we'll have more of a better idea how the card is looking. But I mean, that's off to a pretty good start. Meanwhile, Access TV, they've confirmed that their agreement to air New Japan Pro Wrestling on the network has expired. So, New Japan Wrestling on Access TV is ending as the agreement between the two companies expired at the end of the year. Access had issued a statement to confirm the news, and that sucks. I know there was a lot of wrestling fans in the United States and in Canada, some parts in Canada there that appreciated getting that access there to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and being able to keep tabs on what all was happening overseas that way. And You know, it was a great way to expand and introduce a new audience to alternative wrestling, and right down to the point of maybe making subscribers out of them by getting them to check out New Japan World and everything. And not to mention a great bonus from the standpoint of, okay, if we can take this deal that we got right now, grow from mid, and eventually network ourselves, do enough touring in the United States where we could ultimately gain the support of getting a new TV network deal that can have more eyeballs on the product, that's a great. But for New Japan to pretty much be cut off like this, it's rather unfortunate. Is this the end for New Japan Pro Wrestling and them trying to extend their reach, their growth in the United States? I don't think so, fam. I don't think so. Um, I think they'll be able to get something done this respected calendar year. Personally, I think they will be able to get something done. Trying to think. I did not watch Collision yet. I did not get a chance to check out New Japan's pay-per-view, 2-night pay-per-view that had aired over the weekend. I actually want to go back and watch that in its entirety. So what's going to end up happening, we're going to do a bonus show for you guys later on this week, for sure. And we're going to talk about that New Japan show, also talk a little AEW, definitely talk some more TNA as well. So we'll even talk some NXT, because for those of you that like NXT, The Rock is supposed to be doing a drive-by over there for this Tuesday's NXT edition of New Year's Evil. So it should be a very interesting episode. I'll definitely be checking that out. So, but I think we'll do a bonus show for you guys this Wednesday night, because with our snowstorm and everything, it's not really, we're going to be stuck with snow for several days. But as far as the roads getting better, it's a safe bet that there really is, it's not going to get any better until most likely Thursday on. So usually I'm doing something Wednesday night. Usually I'm on the roads. I'll be perfectly honest, Wednesday night, but I'm taking it easy for the next couple of nights. Let Mother Nature's do its thing. Let these plow trucks go out there and clean things up and all that. So definitely you guys are going to get a bonus show. I want to thank our show sponsors. Make sure you guys represent and you check them out when you all get a chance. Make sure we have all the links available in the episode description of this very episode. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcast. Just search the RCWR show. Remember, I'm all throughout social media. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. I'm on Blue Sky now, picking up a decent amount of followers. I'm not abandoning Twitter. I just like having alternatives. So make sure you show the Blue Sky account some love and give me a follow on there. Great time to be a wrestling fan, man. I tell you what, 2025, and we got all this great content that is running around right now, and just the way in which the media consumption is out there to have it all and everything. I am freaking loving it right now. Seriously, I am loving it right now. So yeah, come on back Wednesday night. We'll be here at 10 p.m. Eastern after AEW goes off the air. We'll talk New Japan, we'll talk AEW, we'll talk some TNA. I'm even going to poke my head in. We'll talk NXT as well. I'm even going to poke my head in and see what's going on with WoW, see if there's anything noteworthy we can talk about. You enjoyed this episode, you know what to do, especially you're going to be checking this out via YouTube and everything. Hit the likes, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's the biggest way that you can support the YouTube channel. subscribe, hit the like on the episode over there. That way it can really help syndicate us to a larger audience. The more likes, comments, engagements that we get, more higher the watch time and all that, better the recommendation. Like, you can even get it right down to the point. You can just put on the RCWR show live playlist and just let that bad boy play in the background while you're at work or whatever. And that even helps with the retention time and recommendations, all that good stuff. All right. Until next go round, my pretty babies, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you all next go round. Adios, y'all, and take care.